All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition Uper Farmer Mostly Smoked Cigar Garage Talks. We have a very special guest for a special episode. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's homeschooling mama. Let's start with what we're drinking, what we're smoking. Yours is the only one that has a label on it.
Oh.
So if you want to show yours off, what you're drinking.
I don't know.
Pepsi.
Oh. Yep. I started to open it and didn't. So.
Yeah.
Pepsi.
I actually have. You can go ahead and crack it over the rest of it. Homemade apple cider. Delicioso. For the cigar tonight, I've already started smoking because I shot one video, but we're doing a special edition. This is the Gurkha cigar. It's actually the previous video is going to go up on Monday. I think I'm going to put this one up on Wednesday. It's the Royal Challenge. It's getting better, folks.
Oh, so it's better than it was when you started.
When I started, Gurkha went downhill. I actually stopped smoking them. I now don't buy them intentionally. I just buy them as part of like sample packs. I'll have a Gurkha cigar, and I've been trying to smoke them to get back in. See, Gurkha used to be my favorite. I used to smoke Gurkha. When Romeo and Juliet Gurkha.
Romeo and Juliet's our Gurkha?
No. Romeo and Juliet was the first
and
one, like go-to. Then I went to Gurkha. Now, kind of a tie between American Viking and Blackbird cigars. So yeah, it's okay. It's not great.
I'm sorry.
So
it doesn't smell good. So.
Yeah.
I can't smell very well because I'm congested.
But that comes through. Your nose is all chewed up, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I can taste it when I breathe in more than I can.
Here, I'll just
No,
some
no,
closer.
thank you.
I thought you were asking.
I shall pass.
So we are here talking about something. We've danced about this topic, but yeah, Vashman is graduating. The countdown has begun. We are currently working on his graduation party, graduation announcements. For those of you guys who know us personally, block off June 14th on your calendar. If you want an invite, just let me know. Either text me, comment, or get a hold of me. We'll send you out an invite. June 14th, Vashman's graduation party.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be huge. It'll be all right. It'll be good. We'll have food, we'll have beer, we'll have cigars.
There will be no beer. You can't have alcohol.
Well, I'll have beer.
No, you can't have it at the center.
We'll walk 20 feet outside the property line.
You can't do that either.
But yeah, so let's do a special marriage video.
Marriage video?
This is a marriage video. I wanted to have more with you in them since I only have like 4 or 5. I think I have 5 left. 5 of the marriage series left. So let's talk about this is big news. Like our oldest son, 18 years old. He'll be 19 when he graduates. Just I guess a couple weeks after he graduates, he'll be 19.
Yeah. About a month after he graduates.
About a month after he graduates. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about...
How's that related to marriage?
Because we didn't have to get married to have a kid, but we did get married before we had a kid, which is rare in this day and age. No. We got married before we conceived said child. Even better. That is rare. Even better. Okay, well, we're just amping it up there. So... yeah, let's just walk through that part of our marriage. But having a kid and spending 18 years, almost 19 years, keeping him alive under our roof. So let's do some history.
All right, well, he's easier to keep alive than some.
Yeah. Well, let's go all the way back. So we got married in August. And we got pregnant in, I think, October, we figured.
No.
Yeah. It would have been September, October.
Yeah,
We got pregnant. Now, were we trying to have a kid?
Well, I think we were kind of just leaving it up to God.
Yeah, that was definitely we weren't not trying, but we weren't trying. We were just living la vida loca. So yeah, about 2 to 3 months into our marriage, magical 2 blue lines appeared.
I think they were pink then.
Were they pink then?
I think
they're always blue.
No, I think they were pink then.
I think throughout history it's always been blue. I know it wasn't a positive sign. That wasn't until much later.
No, that was definitely not. Clear blue is the only one that's blue. First response is pink.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know the sick part about that?
You don't know?
We've had so many pregnancy tests that we know there's a difference between clear blue and...
I don't think we've ever used clear blue.
We have used clear blue.
Oh, I don't know.
Because for the running joke is the other one's got it. It's like every time we used one, we were like, oh, we're pregnant.
Oh.
But if we use the other brands, like, oh no, we're not pregnant. Oh shucks, well, you're just late. That's all. Okay. Because for a couple of them, I switched. So I was like,
First
okay.
response.
First response was pink. You're saying, okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure I might be wrong.
I mean, I don't really want to buy another pregnancy test and have you pee on it anytime soon. So, what were your, think back 19 years.
Better soon than 10 years in the future.
If you're still getting pregnant 10 years in the future, we have done something drastically. You are way more fertile than advertised. And we need to prep our daughters.
Okay, anyway, coming back to whatever you were going to say.
So, what were your thoughts when we got the positive pregnancy test? What went through your mind?
I don't know. Scared, excited, happy.
Now, at the time, I wasn't working at all, actually.
You were working.
I was
you
not
were
yet.
contingent then. Yes, you were.
Was I contingent? I didn't think I was contingent
you were contingent. I was actually working more than you.
You were full-time. You were full-time.
I was working full-time. You were contingent.
Yep, I was contingent.
Because the dog relied on you.
Yes,
and then when we switched roles and you went full-time and I stopped working because you didn't want me working at the shelter, the dangerous shelter at night while pregnant, the dog went into depression.
Yeah. So you guys know, contingent basically meant that I did not have any guaranteed hours. I was not scheduled anything, but they'd call me in and kind of plug me here and there.
Yes, but oddly enough, after being contingent for 1 or 2 months, you were basically working more than full-time.
Yeah, I was, which I know now was quite illegal. But yeah, it ended up, we had a huge exodus. So I was working
It wasn't
tons
just
of
an
hours.
exodus. There were a couple of people who got fired, too.
Well, that's part of the exodus. We had a culture and shift.
Of high turnover.
High turnover. High turnover. I did go to my boss shortly after, I think just after Christmas, I think it was January, and kind of laid down the law to him that, listen, my wife is pregnant, we're trying to buy a house.
We were already actively buying.
We were renting. We were renting to buy. So the program was you rented the house, you paid a lot more rent.
I think it was technically lease to own.
Yeah. That sounds better than rent to buy. Let's go lease to own. That sounds bougie. That sounds bougie. It wasn't. It was after a year of living there. We had to get a loan to buy it.
But the year of living, they were supposed to do the loan for us. Like they were supposed to.
Yeah, they were supposed to actually finance it.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother video, a whole nother story. But my boss did say, he's like, we were so short-staffed, I cannot imagine you not getting hours. And I do believe at that point, that's when I got put on Thursdays permanently. Like that was his trade-off. Like I wasn't part-time. I was still classified as contingent, but that's when I started working every Thursdays.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because I started working with Paula like consistently.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was like December, I think it was January, because I didn't approach him before the holidays. It was after the holidays. We started talking about me getting maternity leave, which didn't go so great. We'll get into that. So I was contingent, which means I was not guaranteed any hours. I could get 0. Thankfully for EMS and the fact that I lived and worked close, I think it was January. Was it December or January when you finally cut paths with the women's shelter? Or was it even earlier than that? Was it November or December?
I think it was December.
December, you guys.
Because I don't remember driving in snow and bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
And over there's no chance that it wouldn't have been snow and bad weather.
That's fair.
So I remember for sure in the fall, because we used to take the dog for a walk at like 5 in the morning, and then I would leave at like 6:37.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I would say December is probably when I gave my notice and quit.
Yeah, that sounds right. It might have even been November. I think it was November.
I think it was December. I think I made it past Thanksgiving because I think I actually worked that Thanksgiving.
That makes sense.
I think I worked that Thanksgiving, and then for the next like 10 Thanksgivings, you worked.
Yeah.
So
we had our bouncing baby boy in June, June 16th. I don't think that's really sacred date that we should keep that off this video, but so yeah, we had our first kid, and then we got him a rabbit when he was
He was just crawling.
yeah, he was just crawling. He was young, 6 months old. Turned out to be the worst mistake of our life. We found out later on. Because he was allergic, so what ended up happening...
He was sensitive, not allergic.
Yeah, he was sensitive. He was sensitive, not allergic, but he had some malformations of his eustachian tubes, which we didn't know about at the time. There's no way for us to know. So he actually got chronic ear infections and was deaf, essentially, from 8 months till about 3.
3.5.
At 3.5 years old, we actually got the right surgeries, the right surgeon, an actual, the doctor was just amazing. I cannot not talk.
I still think back about him and the fact that he didn't have any kids at the time, and yet he was
the best.
So good with that. With that
the best pediatric. Yeah, it was weird because I think... You keep saying Asher, you gotta say Vashman.
I said Vashman.
Did you say Vashman?
And then we had 2 kids. When we had 2 kids or 3 kids, and we went back to him because we had to keep seeing him for a while.
We had to keep years. We had to keep seeing him.
And we went back when we had 2 or 3, and he had his first, and he's like, "Does it get easier?"
Yeah, he was asking.
And we had kind of assumed.
We assumed he had 5 kids. He'd had a whole
Because he was older than us, quite a bit.
He was
quite a bit older than us.
He was quite a bit older. He was in his 30s at least, and we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, "Oh, I had my first kid. This is hell on wheels. Does it ever get easier?" Like, wait, what? I remember, I said it. It's not like I thought it. I said, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I just had my first. It's like he's 6 months old." I'm like, your first since knowing us, right? Like, you had a gap there between 1 through 5.
We totally thought he had kids. He was so good with Vashman, though. Mm-hmm. And so good with kids in general. His office was fantastic. They had special sized earplugs for kids. They had special size so that kids who had ear trouble like Vashman, they could still learn how to swim as toddlers, and they could still because it does mess with their balance and their ability to speak. So they had all sorts of resources. But I guess I just took it as assumed that he had.
I assumed even when I was in the medical profession, that was actually about 5 years of being in the medical profession. I assumed he must have had a horde of kids and because I felt weird that he was older. I think he was 30, 35.
I think he was 35 when we met him.
Yeah, and it just shocked me that someone could be in pediatric.
Well, and he was so, confident. Because Vashman had so many ear infections before we were allowed to go see a specialist.
It wasn't his first specialist either.
No,
that was his
wasn't.
second or third. I think it was his third.
Second
Well,
specialist. Okay, so the PA that we saw with the first
1.5,
office,
1.5, or 2.5. We'll go 2.5.
So, yeah, Vashman hated the doctor. He hated walking in. He knew from the moment, just seeing the doors of walking into different clinics, he knew exactly what he was in for. And he would start crying and screaming and have meltdowns and breakdowns. And the first time we walked in, he
turned his head. He turned his head so the doc, could look
the
in his
doctor
ear.
was like, "Trust me, it won't be like this for long. He will get used to this. He will be comfortable here, and he will not cry after."
I'll holler out the doctor. Right? He's probably still practicing. I don't know if you find Dr. Feely. Hopefully he's still good with kids. But yeah, it was the second or third visit. Vashman would just turn his head, cock it to the side.
And that was such a switch because he had been to our regular PCP constantly, a couple of times a month. He was at a specialist's office a couple of times every other month. He had been in and out of doctors and screamed and cried and
literally did know when it was a doctor's office. He could just smell the magazines.
Even coming to the hospital to meet his baby sister when Swedish Compass was born. Grandma and Grandpa brought him upstairs and they were like, "Oh my gosh," they were in tears bringing him up because he was so devastated.
Yeah, he was crying and screaming. He'd already had one surgery, I think, by the time he met his sister. It'd been close.
Yes, he had the first surgery maybe a month before she was born because we were supposed to go to his appointment, his after surgery follow-up the week she was born, and I actually tried to get out of the hospital for it, and they made us reschedule.
Yeah, then we drove through a freaking blizzard with an infant.
With a 1 week old.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fun. She
That
was
was
a little more than one, but yeah, she was young.
No, she
like,
was only a
she
week
was
old. Trust me.
Big ass blizzard to get to, an hour away. What should have been an hour, it ended up being like two hours.
For them to tell us, oh, you really shouldn't have come.
Yeah, you should have just done this by phone. We just needed to ask you a handful of questions, and they're all like, "Why'd you show up?" I'm like, "Because we were told we had to."
Yeah.
So, he could hear then. Had some speech delays. Obviously, couldn't hear for the first 3 years of his life. Started him in pre-K.
No, he had a great start. He had early on.
Early on.
Intervention
So,
from the time he was like a year old.
Yeah, but that's still considered pre. Well, when he went actually to the school, he was pre-K. He was like 4 years old.
He was 3.5.
Yeah, it didn't go great.
Did not. We had nothing but trouble with that school system.
Yep.
Switched schools twice. Nothing but trouble.
We didn't switch schools.
Yes, we did. Unfortunately, the teacher switched.
Oh, but it was still the same school. It was just a different program.
No, we literally switched schools, and that teacher had been transferred.
It was Rudyard both times.
No, the first one was in Kinross. That wasn't Rudyard schools.
Oh, that. Okay. Yes. I was skipping that.
That was even more traumatic than the rest.
That one I just wrote off as being Kinross crap. That's fair though. So anyway, he's in his actual kindergarten year, and we're getting nothing but flack. Get in trouble. We actually had both the teacher and the counselor and someone else like, we're going to get your son tested for autism, for...
and he had IEPs, and he had, like, we were taking him for private therapy 3 times a week. He was getting in-school therapy twice a week.
And the private therapist actually was like, no, he's fine. He couldn't hear for 3 years. So, like, of course he's going to have...
Yes, but the private therapist also got so angry when we pulled him from school that she
did.
refused to see him.
She
She
did.
was
That
rotten.
was... Yeah, but, I mean, at least she gave us hope. The school's like, he'll never learn.
Oh, you weren't at the appointments.
Oh, well, I was at some. But, yeah, I was like, he'll never be able to learn. He's just going to be an idiot his whole life. And
Yes. The
I mean, he's still an idiot, but he's definitely able to learn.
Not.
He can write.
The school went to the, like, he'll be nonverbal, he won't be able to write, he won't be able to read, he won't be able to do.
Teach him how to make pot holders.
And then, like, within a week of homeschooling, he was writing his name and...
Yeah, so he's actually the one. We pulled him from school. Now, we didn't want to homeschool. That's kind of the big thing.
We had decided we would in middle school, high school, because there was a bad bullying problem in our area and drugs and alcohol. So we were like, okay, well, middle school, because my nieces and nephews had been in the schools there. Mm-hmm. So we knew we would probably homeschool through middle school because we didn't have a lot of choices in public education.
Yep.
But I honestly, and it doesn't make sense because of my degrees, but I did not want to teach reading. So I did not want to homeschool elementary.
Yeah, but after Vashman had so much problem with schools, and they basically wrote him off. They were not going to teach him. Mm-hmm. We decided to homeschool. We definitely caught Vashman up. He probably could have entered back into elementary school. But at the same time, Swedish Compass was sitting around doing school. And we're like, okay, well, now she is 1 to 2 years above her peers. And to put her in public school would almost be a disservice to her. Like, she would have been behind.
We did try.
We never put her in school.
No, but we did try. We took her to the school. She met the principal. She walked around through the schools. Mm-hmm.
She had no interest. We had no interest.
Well, she was interested, but once the principal was like, "No, you'll be entering kindergarten." She was 5 at the time, and the principal's like, "Well, you'll be entering this classroom, the kindergarten classroom," and she's like looking around, and it's teaching numbers and colors and basic letters, and she's like, "But I know all this stuff." And then the principal's like, "Well, based on your age, this is where you belong," and she was like highly offended.
Yeah.
And refused.
So homeschooling became our bag, unfortunately. I still hate homeschooling, but I cannot disagree with the results. So then we started homeschooling full time. All of the rest of our kids we homeschooled. We moved over to Ishming. I took the job placement, the switching jobs. Did well again, more homeschooling. You actually started a couple homeschooling groups, which mm-hmm. I did get notified that one of them is still very active.
Still active, yeah.
Still active, so good job. Good job, homeschooling mommy. You earned your title. And then we actually did move back to Kinross for a while. And we actually offered up, which kids wanted to join school, and none of them were overly interested at that point. It wasn't until we moved here just outside of Escanaba that there was some interest there, but we won't get into that. That's for another video. So Vashman, I'm not proud to admit it, but he definitely sees the benefits of staying at home. He, for a while there, just wanted to be 30 and live with mom and dad.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think that's the case.
But thankfully, we found Gogebic College, and he went there and checked it out, and it was his bag. He actually did not want to check out it. We had a whole list of other universities and colleges, and
there's a couple more he wanted to look at downstate, but I think he found one that he was comfortable with and liked, and he wanted to look at the other ones just to see.
Just to see what was out there. And actually, his sister, Swedish Compass, was more like, "You should go check out this one downstate." And it's like, that is like your brother's not even interested. That's okay. We'll go down there. I'm like, we're gonna do this again for you next year. Oh.
Yeah, she's still though. Now she's like determined where she wants to go.
Yeah. I'll still take her around because it's kind of like a rite of passage. So luckily though, he found like the RA, the resident assistant at Gogebic, is his twin. I think they were separated at birth. I don't know how that was possible, but separated by birth and like 15 years. So he is now going to be going off to Gogebic. Before you ask, he doesn't know exactly what he wants to do with his life. It's everything from being a freelance artist, making resin, and
he's kind of narrowed it down.
It's a little bit narrowed. He wants to go in the construction program. He really kind of thought that so Gogebic has a tiny home program. They teach you how to do home building, home repairs, but they do it in the sense of you can build small homes, which he just absolutely loved. He actually liked that idea. The professor who teaches their construction trade, again, I think Vashman, wow, I'm doing it too. Vashman is going to fall in love with it. It speaks his language, because he's kind of an odd duck.
But he's loving sociology too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll probably have construction trade to fall back on, but I think he really is going to go for sociology.
As far as when graduation, we're talking about that. So we do have standards for our children, what they have to do to graduate. The first one is they have to know how to shoot straight. And he's actually been coming and going with that. We got to go back to the range this summer because he had a little issue. I don't know what happened. He was actually dead on killing anything he put his sights on to. He's not. He missed quite a few times this last season. Maybe it was just an off season. I don't know. We're gonna go work with him on that. He had so you have to know how to make meat. So he knows how to butcher animals. He knows how to dispatch animals that he's going to butcher. So chickens, rabbits, he's good with. He can butcher them up. He can gut them. He can clean them. He has to know how to play an instrument. He plays the harmonica. Has not been doing great with it recently. I think I might be pushing him to keep practicing. You don't want to.
I don't think he loves the harmonica, but he enjoys it.
It's again, they don't have to be a savant in it. It's not like they have to.
He's all right.
Yeah, you know how to do it. He still has to get his trade down, his certificate. I'm kind of giving him maybe some levity since he's going into the construction, and that's kind of a trade. So I might give him a pass on that one. But we're probably going to have him do his safe serve, which will probably get him signed up for the next week or two, so we get that off the checklist. And after that, he's pretty much, that's graduation. So the only thing he has left is to do his certificate, and the safe serve one, we could literally have that done next week. It's not an intense certification, but it'll give him that little extra. So here we are today. You are going to have an adult child moving out of the house. How does it make you feel?
I also have an infant living in the house. So.
Well, there's the yin and yang. Let's talk that out. This is what this video is all about.
Yeah, I have multiple people who have come up to me and said that Gideon needs a younger sibling. And I was like, what is wrong with
I mean, baby boy.
Oh, yes, baby boy needs a younger sibling. I was like, are you... Okay. Whatever.
I mean, there's one sadistic part of me that also agrees with that they should have
We've
someone...
always had them in pairs of two.
But,
there is that little, like...
considering the Grim Reaper, again, was kind of chilling at the door, seeing how you're doing with this last one.
I don't think it was that bad.
First child, the first of 3 children you didn't need a blood transfusion for, so...
Like I said, not as bad.
If we do have another child, I don't care if I got to drive down to Detroit. We're
I want
finding
that
that doctor.
She was good.
She was amazing.
She was definitely
She was a rock star. She definitely knew high risk deliveries.
what would I say?
That
An
was her.
angel among us. I would say she was really good.
She was amazing. Highly recommend her too. I don't know if she's still up here. I'm guessing she's back down in Detroit.
Well, she is a temp. She just comes up when needed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we need her, so she better come back up. But yeah, so it is odd having a 1-year-old and now a 19-year-old who are an 18-year-old who's moving out. That's kind of a paradigm I did not see our life having, but here we are. So.
But I feel like it's so much more chill now.
I have to admit, we were probably the most relaxed with baby boy.
Yeah.
Like, and you can tell, like, I don't know, that's my biggest parenting advice I can give someone, is like, just be chill. Like, the more relaxed you can be, and it's really funny, so there's a lady at work, she's actually in her 40s, and she just had her first, and she's having a hell of a time. Like, it is not going well for her.
Well, I think it's a learning experience. Like, you really do have to surrender and just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a learning curve. Like, you can't just do that at first. So you kind of have to, like, okay, they don't roll over at 3 weeks and 1 day.
Yeah.
They're going to roll over when they're ready to roll over. And worrying about it is not going to make it happen faster. It is not going to make it happen easier. And I think that, honestly, the last few, I think we got to that point where it's just kind of
with baby boy, we are the most chill we've ever been. Like, maybe our baby girl, we were pretty chill with. But even her, we were a little more excitable. A little more, not horrible, but like this, baby boy right now, he is like, we're so chill, it's not even funny. Like... not that we like love him less or give him less attention, or in fact, I think we actually give him more attention and affection.
I think we're a lot more relaxed. It's not like with Vashman and Swedish Compass, it was, okay, we have to play with blocks, we have to go with colors, we have to go with numbers, we have to go with shapes, we have to, like, very, very intentioned, structured learning play.
And Vashman, because he was delayed because of his ear infections, like, we missed so many milestones. We got so, like, I remember I got anxious, at least. I got anxious that he's missing milestones. So Swedish Compass, like if she didn't roll over at 3 weeks and 1 day, like, I am, like... I
think it was 3 months. But...
Whatever, 3 months and 1 day as prep. 3 months and 1 day, like, I am, like rolling over, like, trying to train her muscles and, like, trying to, like... push her a little bit, like, okay, oh yeah, you rolled over, and which is really funny because Fairy Dancer, she was not rolling over, like, and she was like 6 months old. We'd not seen her roll over. Like, wow, this is just not good. Like, maybe we should go talk.
I think it was closer to 4 months old.
Yeah, 4. All right, I'll give 4 or 5 months. What we found out is that Wild and Free Wolf, every time Fairy Dancer would roll over, she got scared and would roll her back over on her back. So she had been rolling over, I think, for a while. We just had not noticed it because her sister was correcting this issue that she should not be doing this.
That's what happens when you take back to sleep too strongly. Mm-hmm. Every time they roll over on their stomach, somebody's rolling them back.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, we were not huge back to sleepers after Vashman. We kept it kind of, but then, like, as soon as...
For the first few months.
Yeah, but once they rolled over on their own, it was like, okay, they're fine now. Like, who cares? Like, put them on their stomach, because they can roll one way and the other and back and forth, so... yeah, I am very nervous about Vashman going off to college. I don't know if I'd mentioned these videos or not.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm losing sleep over it. I'm not chill with it. So, that's just par for the course.
It's really funny that you're not and I am. Like, he's gonna be fine.
That's par for the course. So the first one, I'm just not chill with, and then I've got to come to terms with that. So.
Well, we just said that you're not like. It's harder with the first one to be relaxed.
It is harder.
I'm actually not nervous.
I'm not pressing that on him though. Like, I'm trying to be chill with it. I'm trying to relax with it. I'm not doing great. I'll admit it.
Yeah, you're struggling.
I'm struggling. I'm doing a whole 90-day thing for him. Actually, I haven't told you what my thing was, but it's for him going off to college and becoming an adult.
I think you told me that.
I don't think I did specific. Maybe I did. I don't remember.
Did.
That's why I keep that part of my prayer quiet. I don't say it out loud, but it's that he stays a strong Catholic and becomes a good person. That's my biggest fear right now. That's probably another whole video I have to shoot later. Is about my fear.
I'm not at all worried. I think I'll be fine.
I'm totally worried. I'm worried enough for both of us.
The only thing I'm worried about is like. He has no concept of what is safe and not safe to eat, and I'm like. Okay, you do understand that people might give you brownies and gummies that have drugs in them. You can't just eat it, okay?
Right. Don't trust the punch. The punch has.
That's I know it's dumb, but like that is what will get him in trouble. It's him not knowing any better and just like going to a party and
maybe
thinking
this summer I'll make some mixed drinks that he can try. So he knows. Like, yeah, do you taste the booze in that? No. Guess what? This is what it's going to be like in college. They're going to make. Wapatui, or they're gonna make
that is my
punch
only like he is not even like because he doesn't pay attention like he drank like spoiled milk before and didn't realize it was spoiled so like
he was no, make sure you tell what the milk is. It was chocolate milk
and he was so excited to have chocolate
milk which we usually never have and it's not like we avoid it but it's not something that we like keep
we
in
don't
the house.
Consciously grab it
we'll buy the legit so the kids have hot chocolate and they have chocolate milk but we'll every now and then buy a gallon of actual real pre-mixed chocolate milk, and Vashman guzzled a glass, and then he got a second. I'm like, oh okay, and one of his sisters like, well, I want some, like, so we gave it to one of his sisters, and she like took a sip and like went and threw up in the garbage. Like what? And so I tried. Like, this is not only like.
This is spoiled. This
is like curdled spoiled. Like there are chunks you're chewing in this. This is.
And he didn't even notice.
This is chocolate cottage cheese
at this point. And he didn't get sick. Like,
didn't get sick, drank it down.
But that's what I mean. Like, that is my only, like, concern, is that he'll go to a party or a gathering or have his roommate will make something, and he won't know any, won't realize that it's not
how bad Gurkha is. I just gotta, it's all unraveling.
Not, like, he won't notice. Like, that is my only real, like, concern.
Mm-hmm.
And I did tell him about that. And I think
again, I don't, like you said, I don't think it's like he's going to move away from our house and then intentionally he's going to seek out drugs and alcohol. I think it will be, like you said, it's going to be like...
Something dumb.
Didn't know.
I didn't know that
everyone's talking about edibles. I'm like, yeah, I like to eat. We got chocolate. Yeah, man, you want some chocolate? Have some gummies. And like grabs a handful or something stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah, that is actually my only, like, that's the only thing I can see happening. Because he is very, like, I don't want to drink. It's, like, I don't want to have alcohol. He's seen enough people drunk, and he doesn't have any desire to experience that.
Now, he has been smoking a few cigars every now and then with Dad.
Yeah.
But it's, again, not his bag. Like, it's kind of a special novelty thing. Which, by the way, the smoking age should be 18. This 21 bullshit is just not okay.
So, like, yeah, it's that stuff. Like, I'm not worried about him going to college and not working because he does take his work seriously. He does do his best when he's...
I mean, he's going to have some serious growing up because right now he does not want to drive.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I think he's going to find out.
He is not the first person I have known who has refused to get his license and drive.
That is the new modern... I don't understand that.
Well, we knew a couple people in college who did the exact same thing. But now, like...
See, I didn't, though. Everyone I knew in college...
One of my roommates.
I know one of your... And I looked at her like she had the plague.
There were two of them, actually.
And each of them, I looked at them like, what is... Yeah, the one refused. Like, she had the state... I think she probably still has just a state ID. I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, she won't drive. She still doesn't.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Now, granted, they both had reasons, though. They had, like... You had 2.5, actually, because the one, she had it, but she hates it. Even to this day, like...
Yeah.
if she drives over to see us, it's like, oh my God, you drove? This is serious.
Oh, that's the third one.
I give her 0.5. She still will drive. She just doesn't like it. Like
Well, she drives to and from work.
Yeah, so that's why she's 2.5. But yeah, I'm hearing other parents say like, oh yeah, no, my kids.
There's tons
20,
of teens
22.
right now.
Even like in their 20s, I don't have the driver's license, which I can't relate to because the second I turn 14 to 9 months, I sign up for driver's ed. I had my license at 15 and whatever months, and like I was Baja across the UP at 16. Like it was, but of course we talked about this. I didn't tell you, maybe I should talk about this in the videos one of these times. I didn't want to be at home, so.
And I do think that's a difference. Like if you're really comfortable and happy and like can do what you want when you're at home.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's not as.
There's a part of me that wonders if we should have been a little more harsh, try to drive them away from
But
home.
I got my license and I didn't like want to escape my home, so I don't know.
I don't understand that. That's just.
I'm happy homes.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I did not have the happiest home growing up.
So like, yeah, I don't know, but he is not the only one, not even close. Like even within our close knit, like close group, like people we know fairly well, I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Probably more than that
6,
even, yeah.
probably 10.
At least.
10 teens who have no desire to drive.
We know a couple of families who their 20-year-olds even are like, nope, not going to drive, don't care.
Yeah, like, and
that's another reason. So go
here that amazes me in this area because
Yes.
to go anywhere.
Yes, that is. And that's the one thing I'm really excited about. So Gogebic does not have food plans. They don't have a great public transportation system. They, like, it very much, if you're going to live on campus, you have to force yourself to be independent. Like, you have to force yourself to be uncomfortable. If you weren't comfortable before traveling on your own, like, you're going to have to kind of used to it. I'm going to go pitch this in the fire pit real quick. So you got to start talking about something. Anything? Ugh.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think you have to be independent, but I also don't think that that's like going to be a problem. Vashman makes his own food quite a bit of the time. Like he knows how to make a bunch of different dishes. He knows how to, like, and walking a mile to go to the store doesn't bother him.
I think it will once winter really hits. I hope.
I doubt it because it's a close-knit community and they're willing to take the van.
And to be fair, we've had a couple of priests who we're in conversations with about helping them meet up with some buddies and some community members. And
Well, I don't think he's going to have a problem.
Okay.
So I'm not really worried about that part of it. Like, I think he'll be fine. Again, my concern is, like, not knowing any better.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, like, Swedish Compass, like,
she
she won't take food from anyone.
No, if a roommate makes a dish, she will not eat it probably.
Yeah,
And,
like, she
I
doesn't
think
trust
she's
anything.
even kind of sus about some of the cafeteria food at the college she's picking or the university she's picking.
I know, so, like, I'm not worried about that at all. But she's also the one that I'm like, okay, she's going to try to go to every party, at least at first.
Yeah.
She's going to try to do all of that. Now I think she knows how to be safe, and I think she'll do her best. But, like, yeah, I'm not worried about her finding a package of gummies on the desk anymore.
Right. Little dish of gummies. Some...
So, like, it is funny how they're so different.
All right, we're going to try something new.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to sign off or do you want to talk to the video while I use the bathroom real quick?
I think we can sign off.
All right, I figured that was the case. Maybe I'll bleep that part out. So it's kind of awkward talking about that. So
Yes,
anyway,
you are.
Anyway, honey, go this way. Congratulations. Skin is where it's at. If you have skin in your videos, they get knocked up. I found out. So
Really?
yeah, they get
That's
put up.
weird.
So congratulations. We're losing a son.
We're not losing him.
Sending him out into the world. If you got some spare time to say a few prayers, if you want to include Vashman in them, that'd be great. If you live in the Gogebic, Ironwood area and you want to
Mentor?
pick up a kid and bring him to the store, I'm sure that would not go amiss. I'm nervous but excited. Like, I am very excited to see this chapter of his life. I've talked about this before. One of the sins you always have so many people are like, well, I just missed this time. I don't think I will, because I'm so excited to see the next stage and see where they're going to go next, that I want to see the next stage. I want to be a part of this next part of their life. And maybe I'll be completely wrong. Maybe I'll be that, well, I'll still have a kid at home at 60 years old. At 70, maybe I'll be like, oh, I missed this. I highly doubt it. But this video will be online forever.
And then you'll have your grandkids.
I'll have my grandkids at that point. Jesus, Joseph and Genevieve, they're not wrong. Anyway, good point to sign off in this video. Any last words of encouragement or thoughts? Or
I don't think so.
all right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this special marriage edition, son going off to college edition, special. Yeah, didn't crack open a new cigar. I'm gonna go grab another one now, since
No, you don't get to grab another one.
It's a thing.
No, it's not.
Anyway, folks, stay safe out there. Thank you for everyone who supported us and my son, and those future people who are going to support us and our son in this next transition of life. And stay safe out there. See you on the next one.